How Bizarre is intended for mature, open-minded audiences only. If you are easily offended, we suggest you turn this wacky shit straight off.
I was driving around, I was helping a buddy out do some work, and I went to pick up a load of metal and stuff to drive it to his shop, and fucking my truck in the back end, I could hear it just going crunch, 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 like Captain Crunch. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And it sounded like my whole rear end was going to fall out. And either way you say that word, your rear end's about ready to fall out. Mm-hmm. Wow. Anyway, I got back to his house, the where the shop was, unloaded everything, and I just babied that thing to Schwab's. And I waited there from 1 o'clock till 5 o'clock, maybe even 5:30. And I'm expecting like the rear bearing to be exploded, and I'm expecting the rear axle to be fucking completely just stripped out.
It's also
toast.
Filthy.
And I'm waiting. I go across the street to the Buzz Inn, and I say hi to a few girls that I haven't seen in a long time. They work there.
Oh, the Crippler's back.
Oh, it was like that. I had one of them buy me dinner. I was surprised. But I walked back across the street, and I'm like, dude, and they still haven't got to it, dude. This is like 5 hours they had it, and they haven't even got to it. And I'm like, fucking fuckers. Because I told them I need it for dialysis. It's my only rig that I have besides my motorcycle. And I can't drive my motorcycle to dialysis, It's afterwards, you don't want to bleed out driving home.
Sure.
And so they go and they get it on the lift, and they're like, everybody's like, there are three of the guys there are just like, oh, this thing's fucked. Oh, you're fucked. Oh, it's $1,000 easy. Because it is, a bearing and
$1,000 isn't that bad these days.
And he gets up, this tech gets on there, and he goes, oh no, I know what it is. And he just kind of kept to himself about it. And he started listening around with the stethoscope, and he's going to town like Bones on Star Trek, and he pops the wheel off, pops the rotor off, and sure as shit, it was the e-brake. The mechanism for the e-brake was completely grenaded. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like that. I mean, it was completely grenaded.
What does that fucking mean? Like it was just shot?
Pineapple?
Okay, so you have, it's, I don't know, 8-inch pieces. 8-inch
wish.
pieces. Well, maybe 7-inch pieces.
Yeah, maybe slum it in the 7-inch category.
But like all the spring stock and all, just into like 2 1-inch little pieces. I mean, it was just destroyed. He had just handfuls of metal he was throwing out of it. I was like, oh my God. And so luckily, he says, I'll just strip it out, and then you just won't have an e-brake on this side, I was like, fucking kazaa. You're my hero, dude. It makes up for having to sit there for 5 hours.
Lyle, to me, the most interesting part of that story is one of these gals bought you dinner. Why didn't you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just an old friend,
One thing led to another.
Why don't you do where I do?
See, one of them was actually a girl I was dating before I got sick. Kind of. I don't know. It was weird. She had issues. I had issues.
Don't we all?
We both had tissues. So.
Yeah, together you make tissues.
Issue plus issue equals dirty tissue. We do all have issues, right? I mean, it's probably not even a PC term at this point, but some of us.
The moment I laid eyes on her at the Buzzin' Steakhouse, I knew we were going to make tissues.
We're going to make dirty tissues from our mutual issues. The question is, are your issues compatible? Right?
No.
Well, I'm not saying in this specific case. I think the question in general is not, are there issues? It's, are the issues that both of the parties or multiple parties involved with any relationship or situationship, are those issues compatible? Because some issues are compatible and some are oil and water.
Well, and some are tolerable too. You can tolerate so much stuff, but it's like I don't know. In that situation, it was one of those things where she like I want to say like her one of her baby daddies was like always helping her out, always, good guy. I know the guy, good guy, but there was still issues between them still that she didn't want to give up, like she was like enjoying it too much, like somebody to pay her like taxes at the end of the year or buy her kids a bunch of stuff and and when he would see her with other guys would make him jealous and then she'd get like, oh, I'm so sorry, it's just, yeah,
that sounds like the definition of toxic.
So I just generally walked away from that.
Yeah, that's usually the right thing to do.
5 years ago.
Before we get going on to some wacky headlines I've rounded up, whatever you guys want to talk about, I do want to say a couple people have reached out to me, as I probably should have predicted when I brought up dealing with a possible raccoon scenario. A few people have begged me to not drown a raccoon.
Don't shoot it with an arrow.
Well,
he wouldn't drown it.
I don't want to. I don't want to drown it. I just don't know what else to do. And that is the going way to deal with a lot of rodents. I'm not saying it's the most humane way.
Yeah.
Well,
take it to Beehive.
It sounds too quick for the vengeance you would require.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not. I think my heart has cooled just enough. But here's the thing. As I mentioned, I don't know what I'm going to be capable of if I can. Look, I am with most of y'all. Whatever your experiences with raccoons are or aren't, I understand that they're cute kinds of animals. They're nasty little bitches, and they're
Arabian infested.
They're vicious, or they have the potentiality of being vicious. They're wild fucking animals. My biggest thing is how to handle that kennel or that little cage without getting, no matter what the scenario is, without getting a little slice and dice on the roster. John Mark, I feel like you just brought up again what you were hoping that I would do last time, which is put that thing in the back of my van. I thought I made it clear that I ain't. Listen, I borrowed this trap from someone who caught a raccoon, but before they could deal with it, it found its way out. These things have hands. There are little levers. There are little slide up doors. They're live traps. The whole point is to not kill them.
Yeah.
And I think most critters, like if you catch a house cat in there, it's going to be pissed and it's going to be a tricky scenario letting it out, but you can do it.
Well, it's all fur.
Some with hands. Oh, they can let themselves out.
Have you looked into would animal control do anything if you caught a raccoon in a trap and said, "Hey, animal control, I got this raccoon has been eating my chickens. Come get it," and see what they say, or at least call them. And
I haven't looked into it, but I've wondered that.
They would. They would. I bet. Yeah.
But here's the other thing. I feel like even if I catch that little fucker, and he just spends a really stressed out day or day and a half in that kennel,
getting waterboarded
before however it found its way out or it got released one way or the other, that might be enough to keep it from coming back ever again.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I ain't consenting to being part of that guy's kennel club. I
bet animal control comes and yes, sir, we'll take care of this right away. And they put that little raccoon in the fucking van. They go around the corner. They open the door and hop right the fuck out.
I see him a block down. The raccoon running right back toward my house.
Gotta get that last chicken.
I'm running to the only thing I know, and that's killing Ron's chickens. I do believe my chickens are safe now. And it could be as simple as that raccoon came back. That was when I got him on camera, and it tried like hell to get the lid open where it was the nesting box that it found its way into. I haven't fixed the latch, but I am now putting a big cinder block on it. He couldn't budge that fucking thing. And I have my G5 Mac blocking the door. He can't budge that.
Right.
So he might have just been like, okay, this place is literally dead and I'm never coming back. So I don't know.
Jigs up.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny to me because
Problem solved.
the issue you're getting with the feedback, I think, of raccoons are like the same people that have feedback of like black bears or like grizzly bears. Oh, they're so cute, let's feed them some honey. They're vicious fucking killers and will rip your fucking bones apart, dude.
Yeah. Well, I hear what you're saying, but to be fair, they were on team killing it. They were just giving me tips on how to kill it in a more humane way.
Raccoon versus a cat, dude. A cat weighs maybe a pound. A raccoon weighs about 40 pounds.
A fat ass cat weighs 15 pounds.
Your cat weighs a pound. You got to feed that motherfucker.
Right? They're all fur. They're not real. You shave the fur off a cat versus a raccoon, that'd be hideous. I don't want to find out which one's more scarier. Actually, now that I think about it.
Well, I've thought about. Obviously a live trap. Part of the reason is you don't want to catch something you don't want to catch. You don't want to trap something you don't want to trap, so you let it go. But the one thing that I have been concerned with is one of these stray cats that are around here, because in terms of viciousness, I know what a cat can do just fucking around with somebody that it loves.
Oh, yeah.
If this thing is trapped and even semi-feral, yeah, I'm still going to be looking at a tricky scenario to let it go. I will find a way to let a cat go. I promise you.
Sure. Well, what I'm getting at is like a raccoon pissed off, leans 40 pounds with fucking big old razor claws.
Mm-hmm.
They could fuck you up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're wearing pants, they'll cut right through your pants. And
well, this is part of the problem with drowning too. I got to pick that thing up and put it in a barrel. So that's not, that's not out of the equation. The two suggestions I got were to use an air rifle, but I don't know that I trust a BB gun killing a raccoon. Not quickly, because I've shot things with BB guns. I've shot things with 22s, and it doesn't necessarily kill them.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still on team shoot it with my real gun, but maybe as we get closer to the 4th of July, I could get away with that.
Maybe we should put a poll up on Facebook to see what. I know I'm voting.
How does Ron handle the raccoon situation?
Yeah. His life is in your hands, friends.
His little raccoony hands. I am on team. Just don't come back, motherfucker. Look, you killed my chickens. You got away. Keep on staying.
You're gonna fucking come out with a white skull painted onto a black tank top.
A fucking wasp factory.
Look like a Viking out there.
Well, if I catch it, I am killing it. There's no question about that. I just don't know how. Haven't thought of that. I haven't figured out the perfect solution.
We should do a multiple choice question and just do the most ridiculous shit ever. Like one of my drones will pick it up with one of my drones.
Maybe I should run a hose from my exhaust pipe into a.
There you go. Make them sleepy time.
Yeah.
Just night night, motherfucker.
Go to fucking sleep.
Yeah. Sweet dreams of my chickens.
Look, I'm telling you, whatever I would come up with would be better than what he gave my chickens.
Wait, that fucking photo you posted of that raccoon just creeping on top of that cage, it just looked like it was there to murder.
Oh, he's
That's what they do. They don't eat. They don't eat it.
Yeah.
Maybe it took like a bite or two. It left a whole chicken.
Dude,
just a wing?
It's hard to swallow. No, not even that. It was just it was literally a wound just enough to kill it. Once it stopped moving, and I read about it. They're like coyotes and even dogs and cats. They will kill things just because it's fun to do it. And they're not looking to eat it. It's not part of nature. They're just bored and they're like, yeah, this is fun for a while. And torment the thing until they finally make it stop moving, and then they move on. So, but we shall see. I will keep you all posted. I know it's not a pleasant listen. No one is more disturbed by all of this than me. But I do appreciate that a lot of you were disturbed by the idea of me drowning anything alive. I don't want to go that route. That was what I could come up with at the time.
Yeah, we're just talking. That's all.
We're just talking, man. We're just feeling things out,
Yeah, we're not committing murder yet.
We're in that stretchy part of the morality code.
Yeah, it's all in theory right now.
Bendy Wendy.
Come on.
Anyway, I'll keep you posted. Or maybe I won't. Maybe we'll just do what has to be done, and I'll never bring it up again.
If there's no update. Y'all, if there's no update,
use your imagination. Anywho, well, I got a few wacky headlines to go through here, and that's basically the show that I have for tonight. I do want to start with, we just lost a legend. I'm sure you guys have seen this by now. Just broke, but Tina Turner, dead at 83. And I was just thinking, what a fucking crazy career she has had.
Sure.
Even if it had stopped like in the Ike and Tina era, just coming out of all that racism and all the civil rights shit from the 60s, even late 50s. Even if that was the end of her career and all those songs were all we got from her, still an amazing story. But the fact that she continued through all of that to have like the comeback of all comebacks in the 80s. I mean, a lot of us, myself included at the time, thought that Tina Turner was a product of the 80s. To me, Tina Turner was What's Love Got to Do with It, So it's crazy that at that point she was already around for 20 years and way older than all these other pop stars, but still came back and then just kind of she was always considered one of these important pop divas.
Wasn't she, her and Ike, like had that whole 80s kind of cocaine fucking feud where they just like Ike could get all fucked up and abuse her and shit?
Yeah, that was earlier. But yeah, he fucked her up. You guys ever see the movie What's Love Got to Do with It? With Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne as Ike. Oh, it's brutal. Yep. But what's interesting about that is they had a house together, I think in Beverly Hills or somewhere around Hollywood. And that house was, when they left it, they just kind of left. They left all their furniture, the bar, the little waterfall, the wallpaper, everything was the same. They just left. And the owners that bought it after that had it for like 30 years. And it just about 5 or 6 years ago got not torn down, but completely gutted. And I watched this guy on YouTube. His channel is called Days with Jordan the Lion. He does like travel vlogs. Sure. For a while, he lived in the Hollywood area, so he would mostly focus on celebrity homes and famous death sites. And it was really interesting. And he's a likable guy, and he would just walk around town and sort of do what we do. He'd learn the facts and relay them to other people, but he'd actually he'd at least walk up to the house and sort of look around. He wasn't scaling fences or anything, but I think because he was likable, and some people are just lucky, he would always luck into, like, someone would just be looking out the window. It's like, oh, you hear, this is where Clark Gable died or whatever. And they would like just invite him in and they'd have all these stories. But he somehow got heads up that the Tina and Ike house, that again was filmed as part of What's Love Got to Do with It, was being gutted, and he was invited out there to take a look around, and it still had that circular couch. It had all that mid-century stuff, and they were gutting out all the stuff. They were pulling down all that iconic wallpaper, and there was a whole bunch of shit that the new owners had moved into the garage, but they were there, and the construction people were there, and they're like, look, you take whatever you want as long as it's not the furniture. They did keep that iconic couch, a couple of lamps, and everything that they had moved into the garage. Everything else, including old stereos, their record collection, the wallpaper, they were pulling off pieces of the wallpaper and just taking it as keepsakes. And it's just like, that was nuts. What a fucking incredible experience. But that video, it's on YouTube. He spends about 20 minutes or so, and he does some side-by-side or, screenshots of the movie. And because they had their studio there. And you can see them, the real Ike and Tina, in that place working on their shit. And then it'll cut to where he's standing and everything's being ripped apart. And that was my first thought when I heard that Tina Turner died, is like, man, all those things are even more treasures now. But what a fucking life. And yeah, Ike Turner, no two bones about it, was a horrible, horrible human being. Just the typical jealous, abusive, controlling guy that was very well aware that Tina was the cash cow of that operation and held her back for a lot of years. And she, as illustrated in the movie What's Love Got to Do with It, beautifully. It's a really good movie. I remember it being a good movie anyway.
So do you remember, was it day before yesterday or something? I was like, hey, have you heard the Ghost cover of Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah. Which I still haven't.
So you should listen. Yeah, you should listen to it. It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
So Ghost. This is related to Tina Turner. Don't worry. So they just released another EP of all cover songs. I think this is like the third one they've done. And the last song on it is "We Don't Need Another Hero," and I just received I think the album came out like last Friday. I just got my copy in the mail a couple of days ago, and Jen and I were listening to it. I think it was like 2 nights ago, and we're like, okay, what is this song? And suddenly it's like we don't need another hero from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. It comes on by Ghost, and it was like, holy shit, this is really good. And it was so weird. It was just like 2 days ago, and then I hear this news today. It was just kind of odd, you know?
Yeah, that's another thing that I think it's easy to forget is the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Auntie Entity.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, that's what I'm saying. Crazy fucking career. She will be missed, but holy shit, it's amazing what one human being can do in their relatively short little go. She lived a long life, but all of our lives are just specks of sand in the grand scheme of things, and some of us will be long forgotten a couple years after we're dead, and others just made impacts all over the fucking place. She was one such. Christopher, we see your cat here. Was this to illustrate how big your cat is? You say she's 18 pounds?
I think she's 15 pounds, yeah.
You know, Mau Mau, you remember Mau Mau. At one point, she was pushing 20.
Oof.
I think she's still around. She's not well, but Mau Mau. God love her. Well, the oldest dog in the world just celebrated a birthday. I don't know if you guys saw the story. If you didn't, I want you to take a guess of what you think the oldest living dog in the world is. What birthday do you think they just celebrated?
Dog years?
No. People years.
People years, I'd guess 25.
Oh, that's a good guess. I'm going to go 26.
Jamar?
Oh, let's say 30.
31.
Wow.
Yeah.
Press what?
Portuguese dog named Bobby. I thought that was charming. And
that's crazy.
Looked pretty healthy for a dog that has been around since, I mean, let's see, what was 30 years ago? High school? I'm trying to think of what.
The grunge era?
Yeah, literally. I was in high school 31 years ago.
Yeah.
That is absurd. All of the life that I have lived. I mean, am I doing the math right? I feel like this year is my 30th.
It's your 30th high school reunion this year.
That's my 30th next year.
So,
yeah, I was in fucking... I was like a sophomore in high school when that dog was born. That just blows me away that your dog can live. I feel like I have lived 20 different lifetimes since high school. I mean, don't you guys feel that way?
Kind of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't feel that old, dude. I'm reminded.
That old either. I just feel like I've lived so many lives.
It's been a ride.
Been a ride.
Oh, hasn't it just?
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm 40 whatever. I feel like I'm like 28.
Well, what do you turn? We both turned 48 this year, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're just only days apart.
Mm-hmm.
September 14th for me, and yours is like the 12th.
12th, yeah. Yeah, 50 is sneaking up. My brother just turned 50 this month.
Oh, geez, Johnny.
Yeah, half a cinch.
Yeah.
Half a fucking cinch.
Is he a fucking grandpa yet?
No, his oldest is...
Well, that's when she...
he's got the kids that he had... Weird. He's got the kids that he had in like high school. Got two kids from two different moms that didn't come into his life until much, much later. They have not had kids, but they both just got married.
They will.
TikTok until he's a grandparent. They'll be the first ones, hopefully.
Oh, yeah,
Because his other kids that he had with his most recent wife are 13 and 11.
Oh yeah, they got a ways to go.
Yeah, well, like I said, hopefully. My mom was 16 when she had my brother. Let's hope that she has a little bit of youth before locking in.
Yeah, my older brother, which is my stepbrother, I think my mom was 15 when she had him.
Yeah, Jesus. Well, it's a trade-off, though, like we've talked about before. My parents were in their young 30s when both kids were out of the house. that's kind of a funny time to be empty nesters, but I don't know. I don't know what the better trade-off is. I feel like the better trade-off is waiting a while, using your youth for the youth stuff, because that gets harder to do as you get older. But yeah, they made the best of it. But speaking of, before we move on from dogs, I got one more headline, one more story here. A Colorado man has been arrested after blaming a dog for driving over the speed limit as he swapped seats with the animal when he got pulled over.
Saw that.
I was
going to use that in a story, but I didn't get around to it.
Oh,
that's fucking great.
I should have run some of these by you.
That's great.
He's like, no, officer, I swear to God, he was driving.
Well, we've all heard stories about people swapping drivers, but this is the first time I've heard of anyone swapping with a dog. It's like, he was driving, man.
And that dog is drunk.
Well, as it turns out, the dude was drunk. And, of course, got arrested for doing 52 and a 30. And this is from the AP article. It says the incident, it was when the officer approached the vehicle that they witnessed something unique. According to the police statement detailing the event, quote, the driver attempted to switch places with his dog, who was in the passenger seat, as the police department approached and watched the entire process. The male party then exited the passenger side of the vehicle, claiming he was not driving, man. The ruse, of course, was unsuccessful, and the man was booked on DUI. The dog, as the story says, does not face any charges. So he was let go with a warning. Oh, my rod, my rafters are roaring. Swapping places with your dog. Look, I suppose it's worth a try. You're already going to jail for a DUI. You're already going to experience all that fun. Yeah. Give it a shot. Anywho. Well, you remember there's a Taco Tuesday update, and you guys may recall on one of my grim and pleasant episodes, which I'm due for, now that I think about it, another one. But I talked about how the phrase of Taco Tuesday was trademarked by Taco John's. Well, Taco Bell is looking to change that, along with many other taco-centric eateries, of course, in a new appeal application. And this is a little quote from NPR. Taco Bell says it wants to liberate the trademark that restricts other chains from using the phrase Taco Tuesday, so that it belongs to us all who make, sell, eat, and celebrate tacos. On Tuesday, the restaurant chain appealed to the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board, part of the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, to cancel the trademark registration. Taco John's owns the trademark registration in 49 states. Another business called Gregory's owns it in New Jersey, as you may remember, according to Taco Bell. It says Taco Bell seeks no damages or trademark rights in Taco Tuesday. The company said in a statement it simply seeks common sense for usage of a common term. When Taco Bell started posting about this on social media, Taco John's CEO Jim Creel took to Twitter and thanked Taco for, quote, reminding everyone that Taco Tuesday is best celebrated at Taco John's.
Oh, God.
This is honestly one of my favorite parts about Twitter and social media is when corporations get a little catty and they just have a little fun with some of this stuff back and forth. But I'm curious what you guys' thoughts are here, because it seems like a pretty fair trademark that Taco John's made decades ago, well before the term Taco Tuesday really became a common thing. You may remember as part of that history, they were trying to get tacos really off the ground. There were a lot of people trying to get tacos off the ground, and they're like, well, what's a good day of the week for tacos? And it was like, well, here's a T word, Taco Tuesday. They thought, Wednesday might be good for pizza, and Friday you're going to go out for burgers and beers. But Tuesday, no one doing nothing on Tuesday. That's for tacos. At the same time, I do see where Taco Bell's coming from, because it is kind of a colloquial term.
Yeah,
it's just a common term at this point. We all say
everybody
it anyway.
Just says it. Everybody just says it. Everybody uses it. It's like at this point, it's like, you know what? Is Taco John's really? Are they really capitalizing on it more than they would be if everybody else could use it the same way? No, I don't think so.
I don't either. That's the thing about it.
That's the only place if we want tacos on Tuesday, that's the only fucking place.
Yeah, well, it's Taco Tuesday. If only we had a Taco John's. Yeah, I think I got a feeling it's going to hold up though.
every bar I've ever gone to has had a Taco Tuesday, dude.
Yeah, but they can't.
It's
they
like
can't legally publicly advertise it. But the ma and pop places will get away with it way more than, some place like Taco Bell or even Pizza Hut if they want to get in the taco game. Which more places would if Taco Tuesday was something that they could use to advertise. I bet a lot of places that don't even serve tacos will suddenly add that to the menu just to cash in on the Taco Tuesday craze.
I can see Domino's jumping in there.
Mm-hmm.
Taco.
So we shall see. A Taco Tuesday. It's not a trial yet, but it might go to trial. I don't know how it works, though. Seems like a fair and legal trademark, but we shall see. I got to imagine that Taco Bell has some money behind it, and celebrities are getting on board. I guess LeBron James is weighing in on it. It's like the Taco Tuesday belongs to all of us. I love the passion behind it. I love the things that we can actually show up for. We can't be bothered with certain things. School shootings, that seems too heavy to grasp. But Taco Tuesday, I'm going to weigh in passionately one way or the other here. So we'll keep you posted on that. Another quick little story here. Chris, this is one for you.
Oh, good.
I have a question when we get through the end of it. This is a university, this is again from AP, right off AP. A university professor broke a record for the longest time living underwater without depressurization. Depressurization this weekend at a Florida Keys lodge for scuba divers. Joseph Deturi's 74th birthday, residing in Jules Undersea Lodge, which looks like a pretty amazing place, situated at the bottom of a 30-foot deep lagoon in Key Largo, wasn't much different than his previous days there since he submerged since March 1st. Deturi, who also goes by the moniker Dr. Deep Sea, which sounds like another crippler arch nemesis, Dr. Deep Sea, ate a protein-heavy meal of eggs and salmon, prepared using a microwave.
Oh God!
Why?
Can I zap you up some eggs and salmon? Or
Oof.
You couldn't get pizza 30 feet deep?
Jesus.
Exercised with resistance bands, did his daily push-ups, and took about an hour-long nap. Unlike a submarine, the lodge does not use technology to adjust for the increased underwater pressure, which even at 30 feet is significant. The previous record of 73 days, 2 hours and 34 minutes, was set by two Tennessee professors at the same location in 2014. But Deturi isn't just settling for the record and resurfacing. He plans to stay at the lodge until June 9th when he reaches 100 days and completes an underwater mission dubbed Project Neptune 100. So, of course, this begs the question to Chris, how much would it take to just get you to spend, well, let's start with one night, and then maybe let's bump it up to a week. How much would it take to get you to spend one night in an actual lagoon in the ocean, 30 feet deep? You're right against the shore, but you're in the ocean, the Florida Ocean, mind you. 24 hours.
Is he in like a little? The way you described it sounded like there's like a little villa under the sea.
He's in a room. It's like an underwater house.
Does it have any pleasantries? Does it have?
I think it's got the most basic of pleasantries. You're roughing it, but it's like underwater camping.
Cable TV? What's going on?
24 hours. That's the deciding factor.
I just want to know the amenities.
Well, let me see if I can find that out while you're thinking.
If I could close it all up and like no little creatures could come in, I could probably do it for a bit.
Well, I think you're safe from creatures.
I've scuba dived before. I have scuba dived one time.
I know.
Really?
And it was amazing. I loved it, except for when the fucking stingray surfaced in front of me. I was done. I was donezo, man.
Stingray. Where were you scuba diving?
Give me strength.
Mexico.
Okay.
Where they make you watch a 20-minute VHS tape and then just kick your ass off the boat.
Were you like, give me strength, Steve Irwin? Give me strength.
My dad made me go. I was like, would you?
Strength,
for Steve.
Yeah. Not the prayer you want to say before swimming with stingrays.
Yeah. He's like, if I had that strength. Yeah.
Well, I'm only seeing pictures, but it looks like they're Yeah, I'm sure you could get Wi-Fi down there, and it's just a little. You're in a little. Oh, this image. I'm gonna send this over Facebook. Lyle, did you get your phone fixed?
Yeah.
Well, you can check Facebook anyway. I'm gonna send this over Messenger. This is just a little window of someone looking in to the window. So let's find the space pod bullshitting. For some reason, this kind of creeps me out, but that does drive it home a little bit. It looks like the dude inside is naked, just sort of longing.
Oh no, I'm out. Yeah, I don't like that anymore.
Well, isn't there something about that image that sort of? It's just a dude looking through.
Wait, so he's not in scuba gear. So okay, wait, hold on.
He's in a room.
It's just a reflection.
He's in he's in a sealed room with oxygen. He's not having to wear a fucking scuba suit.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. Like, I think you'll be surprised. Ron's gonna do a painting for me soon of my favorite game of all time, BioShock. And I enjoy underwater shit. I just don't like sea creatures. I know that's so fucking
okay, but you see,
sounds weird.
The window you have into the lagoon, and imagine the sun goes down.
Guess what I have?
You probably don't have light down there.
Guess what I have?
Feet anyway. What do you have?
Guess what I have? Fucking eyelids. That shit's closed. Ignorance is bliss.
2 little disassociation blankets that I got on.
Like pretty comfortable in that world these days.
So you're just gonna sit there with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
And, okay, so for one day,
yeah,
you think you'd just do it? Just do it for the experience? Say you did it for free, or would it require more?
Well, if I'm doing it for free, I wouldn't be there that long. But if somebody was like, "Yo, I want you to spend 2 days, the whole weekend, Friday to Sunday, down in this water cave," it would cost money. It would have to be like, how much would this require me to do?
And how much would it? Let's say a week.
Okay.
Full week.
A whole week?
Yeah. They're writing you a check.
100
grand. Okay. That's pretty good.
I think that's reasonable. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a long time to keep your eyes closed.
Yep. Right. I can do it.
Yeah, there has to be a bathroom down there, so you'd probably just hang out in there.
It'd be great if I had just constant access to you guys via a fucking microphone. Like, how long has it been?
It's only been
20 minutes.
Hours.
No.
This is hell.
I got to see if there's some interior photos here, because now I'm curious. Oh, no, yeah, it's a full-on room here. You got a phone? You got a TV? Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is cozy as fuck. Well, there definitely got to be a toilet. Yeah. He's been down there. He's going for 100 days. All right, I'll send this over the... That I think it looks rather stylish, actually.
100 days.
It'd be a hell of an Airbnb.
Okay.
Now, if she's down there with you... Girl with a photo. So it looks like you got what do we have here? We got a couple of phones. One's probably an emergency. You got a CB, a TV, stereo, a mini fridge, a whole sink, a magazine rack, and some comfy furniture.
He looks like he's in mid-psychotic, you know
what
I mean?
That dude looks like Christopher going through this, actually. The girl's just chilling on the phone. The dude's on
That's mid-rock, too. He's like rocking a little bit, you can tell.
His eyes are wide open, though.
On that table?
Huh?
Is that a pile of apples on that table?
It looks like it, yeah.
Enjoy some mermaid table. The mermaid tables are disturbing me, I gotta be honest.
A little odd.
It's like a beautiful
the layout is interesting, though, because it looks like there's like a lower level where the girl's sitting, right?
I just noticed that, yeah. There's like a little room, another room.
I'm curious. I would like to see more of that. I mean, it looks interesting, for sure.
Well, it kind of reminds me like the space shuttle. You know how the space shuttle has like
I think
its own little compartment.
Hell.
That'd be awesome.
Look at this shot. This might be a deal breaker for you, but to me, this kind of looks like a little scene out of BioShock. Not stylistically, but just that big. I think this must be inside the photo that I first sent you.
How deep is this?
30 feet.
30 feet.
That's about as deep as a telephone pole. So you're not way down there, but
it's deep enough where you could swim probably out.
I don't think you're going to see daylight even in the
emergency.
Maybe some.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
You know what's weird?
What's with the girls? Is that his girlfriend? Was she down there just partying with him or what?
These are just random. You can rent this place. You can stay down in it. So he's just setting a record there.
Pay them to do it?
Airbnb.
AWT out. Yeah. Well,
I feel like it'd be awkward if like fish or wildlife would catch it fucking, because like that's right, like the angle of the bed, you know.
Yeah.
So if you're like banging, and then all of a sudden, like I don't know, like a dolphin comes up and goes, "Hey, rub my belly too." I don't know.
Dolphins don't ask, you know that.
That's true.
I know. That's true.
Consent is not in their vocabulary.
No.
Well, that is my little wacky news headline. I did see that years ago I did a lot of The Wizard of Oz keeps coming up on the show, and tonight is no exception.
What was that movie called again with that wizard and that place called Oz and the
ruby colored
the wizard that was behind the curtain the whole time.
Well, you remember that. So Dorothy there were a few different ruby slippers from the movie. I think 3 or 4 altogether, but the most famous pair was stolen from the why am I spacing Dorothy, the actress?
Julie Garner?
Jesus, we're so close.
Jennifer Garner?
Judy
Garland.
Garland.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Is that right? Now Judy Garland doesn't sound right.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Dorothy's
Judy
name?
Garland.
Thank you. Okay.
Judy Garland.
Sometimes you overthink a thing. Judy Garland still doesn't sound right. Of course, that's right. There was a Judy Garland museum, and they were stolen from in 2005. Well, they found them in a sting operation in 2018, but they weren't able to connect who actually stole them. But now they got a suspect in custody.
I remember watching this, and that there was a great show on. You know what I mean? It was like all about movie props that went to auction, and they covered that theft and stuff.
What was that show? Hollywood Treasures?
I can't remember now.
Hollywood Treasures?
Yeah, Hollywood Treasures. Yeah, I love that. It
I
was
think
really fun to watch.
I think they only made a couple seasons of that, and that's a shame because that was a fascinating show.
Yeah,
there was a show called it's got Josh Gates in it. God damn, what is it? Some Explorer. Hey, Josh Gates has been in like just tons of shit. But there was an episode that they found, the same story. There was 3 made. Somebody famous bought them and then ended up giving them to the Smithsonian Museum. One pair. One pair was a private owner donated it to that specific museum, the one that got stolen. And then there was another one that somebody else had in a private collection, and they're anonymous. And so what happened was like somebody actually they think it was really an inside job, went in, jacked the ruby slippers, and there was like these drug addicts or whatever they were in jail looking at time, and they said, hey, if you cut back our sentences, we could tell you where these slippers were. And what their story was is that they were stuffed into a paint can and thrown into one of the nearby lakes. And so what they did is they scavenged around, and it was funny because Josh went, and it was in the middle of wintertime, and Josh and another police guy went down, and they were like the last hour they were down there before they ran out of air, and they found a paint can. They're like, no fucking way, dude! In the middle of this lake, no fucking way. Mm-hmm. And they get it up, and it's really heavy, and they throw it up out of the ice, and they go, dude, this might be it, and. You get that factor of like, oh, they finally found him. And they opened up, it was just fucking rocks in a bank,
You said salvaged, a word that doesn't exist but makes sense.
Salvaged.
Most of Lyle's made up words make sense. Salvaged feels right.
So what happened is they found out it was in a different lake or something like that, but they did end up getting him back. And it was really cool because it was real heartfelt. Because the collector that had them in his private collection, dude, he had so much cool shit. But that was his favorite. Out of all his collection, that the ruby slippers was, they were his favorite.
Yeah.
And he donated them. He didn't sell them or do anything else. They were still his. They were just, being displayed on display.
Yeah, they only did Hollywood Treasure for 2 seasons. No idea why. It was a great fucking show. It was basically American pickers, except they were looking for Hollywood props. Could be from Terminator 2, could be from Wizard of Oz, could be from Casablanca, and they found so much cool shit, and then they often took it to either a buyer or they took it to auction. Speaking of this kind of thing, though, I recently saw something on Facebook. They're selling little charms made from this, which I thought was kind of cool, but kind of a dumb cash in. But I didn't know any of this so the famous Woodstock stage, the original Woodstock, was constructed for the event, of course. And when afterward, we were in a different mindset back then, in terms of like collectibles and valuable things. That stage basically sat there for a while, and then some owners of the property deconstructed it and turned it into part of, I can't remember, I think it was like a not wall ball, what's the, like racket ball, like they made a racquetball court. It was something like that in what was this new subdivision that was being built on the property. That subdivision was still there, but the racquetball court just kind of became dilapidated and worn out, and trees were growing over it. And somebody at some point, not all that long ago, was like, wait, whatever happened to the Woodstock stage? And so they found out that the stage was deconstructed and turned into this court, and they went down to look at it, and they were looking around. They're like, well, it's just, it looks like plywood and stuff. But they got permission from the owners to start taking some pieces apart and really getting down to the inner layers. And eventually they got down to some things that they could actually match up with paint wise, and the labeling from the lumber yard where they bought the plywood to build the stage during Woodstock. And they're like pulling these pieces away, and they're like, holy shit, that's that. And they'd lined up a shot where like Richie Havens was playing his, famous set. And it was a really cool little mini documentary about how they discovered the Woodstock stage still sort of preserved underneath this pickleball court that had been built somewhere down by the property. And so they began to take it all apart, and they used some of that to make these little piece charms out of the original Woodstock stage. That's the less interesting part of the story, but it was really cool to see how they went and tracked down. And it is kind of funny how there are all these sort of things that could be considered priceless relics that just sort of got shoved into a warehouse or reused and repurposed for something as wacky as a pickleball or whatever the fuck it was. You can look that up and find all the deets. But I love that kind of shit because it is fascinating to watch someone just hunting for it. Like there's almost the Indiana Jones aspect of digging for these treasures and finding clues and going back and trying to figure out where could this have gone, who could have bought it, whose warehouse could it end up in. Hopping on planes, going all over the world looking for this shit. But then you got the coolness of seeing the actual props. One of my favorite props that they found on Hollywood Treasure was the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like they found the actual stop motion figures. It was they were falling apart, as you might imagine, but they looked better than you would probably guess. They were being used in this little shop in a little town as out in the sun-drenched window as part of their annual Christmas display.
No,
they didn't know what they actually had. Yeah, but I
remember seeing like the. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm done.
The one of those things that I saw pop up was somebody found. I loved the '90s Ninja Turtle movie. I don't know if you guys are probably too old for that one. But it was a big deal for me. Mm-hmm. The one with the suits. Yeah. And somebody found one of those fucking suits a while back, and it's just been disintegrating for like 10 years. Yeah. And it's a nightmare when you look at it now.
It's like foam injected latex is what most of that stuff was. And latex ages very poorly. And the foam that was injected. Right? Indeed. Oh boy, has it aged. I had to take a knife to that bitch.
A little long in the hooch, if you know what I'm saying.
But the foam that they injected, especially back in the days, when now they can use more non-toxic stuff, but everything was caustic back then. A lot of those early special effects people developed all sorts of cancers and illnesses because of the caustic shit that they were working with.
Now, is that a word? Is that a word, caustic, or are you meaning toxic?
Caustic is a word.
Okay. Well, I could Lyleism it and make it coxic.
Toxic.
That's Lyleism in it in a couple ways. No.
Now I completely understand.
Now
we see. Way to scavenge one up.
We see eye to eye. Really had to salvage that word.
Thank you. Salvage.
Salvage feels good, man. Well, do we have a guest joining us for Weird Triv?
We don't. I had two people I was connected with that are on our hit list, so to speak, but we just couldn't make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe next week.
Anything else you guys wanted to get off your chest, throw out? News of the day? I did see that Twitter got a new CEO. Do you guys know anything about this or what it's going to
mean? Basically, from what I anticipate is that she's going to be the fall person for all of the bullshit that's coming Twitter's way, and she's going to be set up to take the fall. They're calling
she
it
already is,
right? So, I think they're putting her in position to basically take the brunt of all the lawsuits and bullshit that's going to be coming Twitter's way soon.
Well, I saw that a lot of the more alt-right fans of Elon and Twitter in general are up in arms because apparently this person is woke. This new CEO, she's woke because she was on team vaccine and wearing masks during COVID. I think the more they dig, the more that she's fairly politically ambiguous. She's mostly a true blue capitalist more than anything.
Well, she's part of the World Economic Forum, so that's a big red flag to those guys too.
Of course. Yeah, I think I hadn't thought of that, but I think you might be right because it seems like it's already happening. This is a fascinating exercise, Elon and Twitter in general, in, I suppose, attempting to essentially alienate everybody. It's like when, trying to cater to one group and then trying to uncater to that group and swinging so far. Not that anything has really swung. I just think so many of these people are, they're so ready to be rabid and angry about anything. And I didn't dive too far into it, but I thought maybe that had come across your guys' radar. I was curious about it.
Yeah, she's not even she was supposed to be installed as CEO from 6 weeks from when they announced it. It's been like a week and a half, and it's already like, you know what I mean? It's just she hasn't even taken office yet, as it were. Mm-hmm. And people are just like losing their fucking minds, these idiots. Yeah. So
well, strange thing. The story of Twitter is so bizarre. Well, anybody got anything else before we maybe take a quick break?
I get a question for John Mark. Did you like Death Stranding, the video game?
What I played of it, yeah, I didn't finish it. I'm not sure how far I'm into the game. Probably maybe like a third of the way.
I was gonna say, Epic Games right now. It's just like Steam. It's Epic Games. You just buy games there. Yeah. They have it in there for free.
Yeah. I already have it on Steam. So.
Oh, I didn't know. Well.
Yeah. I got the director's cut. Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's a different game for sure. But yeah, it's a hit. It's a Kojima game. So if you know anything about like Metal Gear Solid and all that stuff and his weirdness, then you know kind of what to expect. But it's interesting. Yeah.
I just thought it was cool. It's for free, being such a good game. I mean, it got praise for what it.
Snap it up. Check it out.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna snatch it up for sure for free. Any game for free is worth snatching up.
What do you
guys want to take a quick break?
I got a real quick question before I move on, and then we'll do a break. But I'm curious if there's anything you guys as gamers are looking forward to that's either is on the horizon, or that you wish was on the horizon. Because it seems like video games have kind of been what they are for a while. Like there hasn't been a huge advancement, or am I wrong?
There's been a lot of good games that have come out. Is the thing. Like I don't feel like the consoles have done much for us this year. Mm-hmm. Like we haven't had any crazy. Like I haven't seen a game yet that's like, oh my god, look at these fucking graphics. I haven't had.
They've been pretty top notch for a while.
I will say, Diablo 4 drops in like 2 weeks, and I am ready to just put my life away for a bit and play that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got that pre-ordered. I'm ready for that too. Later in the fall, I think Starfield. I think it's Starfield.
Yeah, we don't. That's the Bethesda game, right? That's supposed to be like Skyrim in space, but I haven't seen any gameplay. I hope it's good because Xbox needs a fucking win right now. They have not had any exclusives dropped. Like Redfall dropped, and that was a bad game apparently.
Yeah,
it's shocking because that company makes great games.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right.
Sorry.
The way I feel about it is, I think VR kind of premaculate all over the place.
Yeah,
I agree.
People weren't ready yet.
Premaculate. Yep.
They did. Yeah. But I'm telling you, they had a game made by fucking Valve, which was a Half-Life.
Alex?
Oh my God. That game in VR is just amazing, dude. It will, within, I would say, 2 minutes, have you so sucked into it, you feel like you're there. I mean, it was just a phenomenal game. There's nothing that I've played that ever even amounted up to it. It just kind of just flatlined past that. And it's such a sad thing because the PlayStation came out with a VR system. The Oculus Rift, I mean, shit, you can pick it up for $200 on Marketplace right now, and play that.
You know how much the PlayStation VR 2 costs?
I have no idea.
It's like $800 or something wild, and you have to have the fucking PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's sold so poorly because it's fucking wildly expensive. It's not affordable.
It depends how good the graphics are, because
I haven't seen
running off the graphics. All they are, you basically, each eye is a mini monitor, and that's why they're so expensive, because there's so much lens development. Another game like that is Fallout 4. Bethesda pretty much put their hand up and said, "We'll do it." Yeah. And they did it with Skyrim. They did it with Fallout 4, or Fallout 3. My bad. And those games, dude, you can walk around and it's so lifelike that you really get sick if you're in it too long. It's just like it's wow.
At some point, they have to start pairing some of this AI shit with video games in an interesting way, but. That reminds me, I had to reach for my laptop real quick because last episode we asked the audience to give us some prompts. Now, I only saw one, and that was from our Ben, who wanted me to prompt AI chat with, tell us a joke about 9/11.
Oh, God.
And so I am going to do it. I have a feeling I know how this is going to go, but tell us a joke about 9/11, and then we'll see what that says, and we'll go on a quick break here. Yep, I was right. Okay. I apologize, but I cannot fulfill that request. The events of 9/11 were a tragic and sensitive topic, and it would be inappropriate to make a joke about such a devastating event. If you have any other topic in mind for a joke, I'd be more than happy to try to provide a lighthearted response. So there you go, Ben. You're a monster, according to AI. But
something up that field though too with VR and I guess AI. I don't know. But there's a thing with the computer with it's called VR chat. And
interesting.
It was basically a world, you go into different
therapy.
Well,
virtual reality therapist.
Based on the videos that I've seen of like commercials and fake movie trailers and stuff that AI has made, I would not want to be in a VR world that was controlled by AI, at least at this time.
Interesting.
Well, it wasn't quite like that. It was just a VR if you made chat rooms, but there were worlds.
Right, well, I'm just saying.
I was thinking almost even more from the creative standpoint, with like we're talking about all this crazy art that people are creating. I mean, it's a lot of this looks like video games. It has that texture and feel of these insane video games. It seems like that could be an interesting way of creating.
Well, it's a lot of people that really are into it. You know what I mean? They will mod their own worlds, and you could go into them. I remember looking into one where you were in a bar and you walked around the whole bar, and you could sit there and talk. There was a dance floor, there was stripper poles, there was drink place where you could actually drink. You can go outside the building.
Sure you weren't just in a bar, Lyle.
No,
that sounds like real life.
You could go outside of the building
and real life.
It's a city, and you could go anywhere in that city.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's in VR chat, and that's just one room. There's thousands and thousands of rooms people made. So I'm really surprised that didn't take off, like even in the consoles. But
well, it would be fun to be able to create from AI or from your own. Like at some point, technology you'll just be able to think up or dream up some wacky shit, or using prompts to create a world that other people can go explore or play through. That would be.
It'll be like Star Trek in the vacation room,
the hologram.
Yep.
The holodeck.
Holodeck. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get back to some weird triv. You guys playing the new Zelda yet?
No.
Is it out yet?
I am. I'm playing it.
The Stone of Destiny.
I haven't even started with the first
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that one. Chris, you back? I watched some people playing the early. Well, it wasn't the early release. Someone leaked it, but that's kind of what got me going on this question. Is like, this looks fun, but it looks like all the other video games. It just seems like things haven't advanced a whole lot in the last decade or so.
All right, guys. Howdy.
All right.
Zelda is one of those games that I tried getting into, like just by watching it, and I couldn't even do that.
Breath of the Wild or the new one?
The Breath of the Wild. I have it. It's in my Switch right now, and I haven't even played like a minute of it, like the beginning of it.
Zelda will always be Legend of Zelda.
That sounds like a you problem, Lyle.
It does. It makes me sad.
That fucking game, man. That was my first game that I had on the NES, and I got the NES later than most kids because we were po folk. But up until then, my video games were, rudimentary arcade games and Atari. So that was my first big leap into to go from like Atari Pac-Man and
that was a leap. That's such a great game. Like
I
with
can
purpose
go anywhere I want. I can explore. I can put a bomb here, and maybe there's a hole.
I was gonna say I could see young Ronnie. Where do I put this bomb at?
Well, the creator of that game, I'm spacing his name, but he set out to design The Legend of Zelda based on his love for playing around in his home of rural Japan, where he would just, as a kid, go exploring everywhere and walk under a waterfall and find a cave and go into it. And that's what it felt like. It was exciting.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Way ahead of its time. All right, let's get some weird triv up in this bitch.
Hit it, Ron.
Oh, I don't even. It's weird trivia.
That was good.
Let's try to get you to time it right. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's just do poop things.
You know what? I've been thinking about it for like 20 minutes straight.
Okay.
I really feel good about tonight. My chances tonight
of nailing it.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I feel like I'm moving it further and further forward, and
I agree.
It feels like it's drifting further and further beyond it. I don't understand how.
Okay, well let me pull it up. If you're feeling lucky, there has to be a way for you to jump ahead, but it does seem like you're jumping the wrong direction. But that can't possibly be true.
No, I don't know what's happening. I'll keep trying though. I'll figure it out. I'll dial it in. You know what? I'm literally saying it right after you say Christopher F. Hart. I'm like poop things because I know it's like
probably got to say it at F.
Try it.
Let's try it. Let's see if you're way ahead now. Okay, I'm almost there. It's weird
trivia. Poop things. Nailed it, right? That's a happy laugh. That was you nailed it, right?
It's weird trivia.
I'm not even gonna edit the actual track over it. I'm just gonna play it organically like this, so it's clearer how poorly you did. But it's interesting that you were thinking about that for 20 minutes. How you? This is the night.
Well,
this was not the night.
I won't sleep tonight.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
All right, guys. Let's get down to some business here. Normal format tonight. 4 questions for y'all. Normal order. Let's jump right into it. Question 1. This delicious candy that's been around for a long time was initially produced from machinery that was made for making gunpowder pellets during World War I, but was converted to make this sweet candy once the war was over. What candy was first made using gunpowder pellet machinery?
The Charleston Chew.
God, I wish I would have put that on there.
I might have changed it.
Is it A, Necco wafers, or Nico? I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I love those. I know people hate that candy.
Yeah, that's a love or hate. I'm on team hate. Mm-hmm. It tastes. It's like antacids. It's just chalky and weird.
Yeah, give it to me. Is it B, Smarties?
Now, see, Smarties is in the same category as chalky.
Yeah,
but sure, I like those. I think they're stronger, so I can get past the chalkiness.
Is it C, Tootsie Rolls?
Tootsie. Okay.
Let me see that Tootsie Roll. Or is it D, Sweet Tarts?
This is tough. Well, one of these things is not like the other.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I'm going to need the question one more time.
This candy was produced using machinery that was initially used to make gunpowder pellets during World War I. They converted it to make candy instead. Nico wafers, Smarties, Tootsie Rolls, or Sweet Tarts?
Well, I don't know what a gunpowder pellet makes me think of like buckshot, but I don't. But a Tootsie Roll is at least shaped. I know we're not talking about bullets, and that's so different from all the others. But that might be the Tootsie herring. I'm going to go with my favorite candy of the bunch, which is actually Sweet Tarts. I think Sweet Tarts are fucking delicious. So tangy on the tongue. Huh?
I like the soft ones too. You know what I'm talking about? Like the big soft ones.
I was surprised that I liked was it Airsoft or was it, what was it? Candy was getting jiggy with it for a while. They were making everything soft and everything mini. I didn't like a lot of it.
Soft, which is just like...
I did like the Sweet Tart soft, yeah.
Okay, John Mark.
I'm going to go with Smarties. I actually like those.
Yeah, Smarties make sense, too, from the size. Like they're the smallest of the bunch.
Lyle.
So what they're talking about is bullet powder, right?
I don't really know.
Gunpowder pellets, whatever that is.
Gunpowder pellets.
Bullets have gunpowder in them.
Right. But the bullet, you have the casing, you have the gunpowder. Some you have like a plug, and then you have the bullet.
Might be what.
So the gunpowder is typically just it's round in nature, probably a half-inch tall. And so with that knowledge, I'm going to go with Smarties.
Interesting. Put you down for a B, Lyle.
Does seem like they would pack nicely in a bullet. I guess I just don't know what gunpowder pellets are. I know shotgun pellets. I don't. Yeah, weird.
Shotgun pellets. They're round usually. Like BBs.
Yeah, they're like little BBs. My brother got accidentally shot with a shotgun. It was an 8 gauge. A 20 gauge. It was an 8 gauge when I had no leg. But to this day, he can still feel some of the BBs in his. They traveled all the way up to his hands, and how does that happen without giving him a fucking stroke?
Yeah,
right.
Creepy.
One of these days, he'd be like, "Rock,
it happened. It happened."
Ron always said it would.
Damn you, Joey! The kid who shot him, fucking walking around behind him by like 6 feet with a loaded shotgun on a rainy day, and he slipped and fell and almost blew my brother's.
Question 2. Worldwide, this food is the most stolen food from market stores and vendors. What is the most stolen food worldwide?
Gotta still eat.
I was thinking that song in my brain when I wrote this. That's so funny. Is it cheese?
Ooh, that's worth stealing.
Is it bread? Is it fish? Or is it, keeping in the theme here, candy?
Oh boy, I was really expecting apple, because isn't that what he steals in Aladdin when he's singing that song? Maybe it's bread.
A few things. Yeah. Again, worldwide, this food is the most stolen. Cheese, bread, fish, or candy? I'm
gonna go with bread, just because it's filling. It's probably easy to lift, and
sure, yeah,
it's everywhere. So, and worldwide, yeah. Oh, wait. I'm thinking from a pauper stance and not a little bitch kid that doesn't want to ask his mom to get him a Snickers. Because I stole a shit-ass ton of candy. I'm going candy.
Mm-hmm. Going candy? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Change it up from bread to candy.
I'm probably going to regret it, but that's more true to my heart.
Mm-hmm. John Mark.
Yeah, it was a toss-up for me between bread and candy as well. I'm going candy too.
Okay. Lyle.
My biblical sense wants to say bread.
Mm-hmm.
My living in the 20 era, like 1920s, was Great Depression would say bread.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what?
What?
You know what's going to hold their longevity besides candy?
What's that?
Cheese.
A fine aged cheese.
I love cheese too.
Well, it's interesting because cheese is aged, but it's very perishable at the same time. So it's like once it's aged, you kind of got to eat it.
Well, that's why you steal it to eat it.
Got to eat the cheese.
Yeah, I just like cheese. I'm sorry.
yeah, I do.
I love it.
Cheese.
I'm going with my heart.
It's cheese.
Let's see if it pays off. Okay, I fucking love this. I didn't know this till today when I was doing research for the trivia. But not too long ago, legendary musicians Jack Black and Jack White got together and collaborated. What was the name of their song that they wrote and released? Was it A, Jack Gray?
That was the first thing that I thought of.
Was it B, Between Two Jacks? Was it C, Jacking Off? Or was it D, Two Jacks and Three Chords?
This was the name of the song or the name of their
The name of the song they released.
The name of their union makes more sense as Jack Gray. But the name of the song...
Again, Jack Gray, Between Two Jacks, Jacking Off, or Two Jacks and Three Chords.
It's on the nose, and it doesn't make as much sense as a song as it does a group, but I'm going to go with Jack Gray because that's what they would make.
Yeah.
If they didn't, then they should have.
Okay.
John
Mark.
He was just in Tenasket, Jack Black visiting his
I'm going with Jacking Off just because, I mean, it seems like Jack Black's humor. I don't know about Jack White.
100% Jack Black's humor, but I couldn't. Yeah. Jack White, in a funny way, does take what he does and who he is very seriously. And I don't know. He's a funny guy, but it seems too blue for Jack. That seems too blue for White or Black.
Yeah. I like...
Well, not for Black.
You know, I would have liked to have seen him do a cover of Michael Jackson's If It Black or White. That would have been kind of good.
Yeah, that would have been
good. You know, they could both hit the notes.
It was me, Black. Jack Black.
Or is it
I'm going to go with Jack White too.
You're going to go Jack White. Okay.
You got your Jack White and my Jack Black. You got your Jack Black and my Jack White.
Jack.
It's funny that you brought him up. I was thinking about the Pick of Destiny today. You guys have all seen that, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
A long time ago.
Dave Grohl as the devil is
so
one
fun.
of my favorite things in life.
That's what we used to start our Foo Fighters shows with. We would
that's great.
Open up with that portion.
It's so good.
All right,
that
question.
Showdown at the end is so fucking good.
I seen a picture of Jack Black and his son.
Yeah, it looks like a little him.
Isn't that wild?
Great.
Genetics are funny.
Okay, question 4. This musician famously had to give up taking acid after they had a bizarre incident where they found themselves having a conversation with a horse. Who woke up mid-conversation with a horse and decided to lay off the psychedelics for a bit?
That's a reason to quit?
Yeah, no shit. Was it A, Nikki Sixx?
Oh, man, I heard your heart stopped once. That's fucked up. Seriously, you guys have treated Mick real poorly.
Yeah, I want you to do that for every one of these.
Okay. He's like, I can start your heart.
Was it B, Eric Clapton?
Oh,
sorry
man.
about your son.
You want a horse with a slow hand, I tell you what.
Was it C, Ozzy Osbourne?
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train right up in here.
Or was it D, Eddie Money?
Where do I go with this one?
Ride me home tonight.
Oh, come on. Where was that? Ride me home tonight. I don't want to let you go till my reins are tight.
See, this is why we work well together. Okay, so again,
Right.
Again, the
home tonight. Okay.
This famous musician, yeah, I said it, famously had to give up taking acid after they had a bizarre. I'm trying to remember the word you coined this fucking podcast. Salvage. Thank you. Let me see if I can salvage this question. Chill out.
Even I know that ain't a goddamn word. Salvage.
I'll let you use it.
What are you on acid or something?
Let you use it. Yeah, what are you fucking high? Don't you salvage me an extra hit of acid, boy?
Oh, yeah.
They were having a conversation with a horse, woke up mid-conversation, and decided maybe it was time to take a break from the psychedelics. It was again Nikki Sixx, Eric Clapton, Ozzy Osbourne, or Eddie Money. Ronster.
Well, didn't you say recently?
No.
Oh, okay. So it could be Eddie Money.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been Eddie Money, and I know they've all had their substance.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki quit acid. I think this is a rarity where I'm going to chase the money herring here. I'm going to say that the horse told him to ride him home tonight, and he decided to push away the LSD.
Okay. John Mark.
This story sounds familiar. And I'm going to say it's Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay.
It does sound like an Ozzy story.
Yeah.
Lyle.
Well,
woke up talking
I'm
about
gonna say he was walking down. He was walking down the street and he saw this apple and he picked it up off the road and he got to the horse and he says, "Hey, you look beautiful tonight."
Then they fuck, right?
Yeah.
Eric Clippity Clapton.
Yeah.
You got to give up the LSD, you crazy fuck.
Or it's just fucking him. Clapton's crying. He's like, "There's no tears in heaven."
I better not know your goddamn name, fucking psychopath. Now let me finish.
But you know what? You know what would have been killer if like the lead singer of Typo Negative didn't die and he did a cover of that song. You look wonderful tonight. Like all vampire-ish and shit. It'd be cool.
In the dark. Okay.
Black number one.
Let's go over the answers here, see how you guys did. Question 1. This candy has been around for a long time, but it was initially produced from machinery that made gunpowder pellets during World War I. It was indeed Smarties, John Mark and Lyle. Starting off strong there.
Damn it.
Anno Lyleson worked out well for you.
No.
Question 2. Worldwide, this food is the most stolen food from market stores and vendors. It was cheese, Lyle. You were onto something there too, perhaps.
Bitch.
We did it. We did it, guys.
We did. Well, you did it. Puts Lyle up 2-1.
He's talking to him and his dick.
We did it, Dick.
He's looking down.
Cripple the world.
We did it, Dick Cheese. I mean, what?
Oh,
my kid just said crippled the world. He's in a very mimicky stage. This could be Trubs. Okay. You hear him? He likes to sing stuff like I do too. It's awesome. All right. Not too long ago, legendary musicians, which I nailed this time, Jack Black and Jack White got together and collaborated. The song that they wrote and released was called Jack Gray. Ronster, right back in this game.
Nice. Back in it.
Did you know? I didn't know if you guys know or not, but they did find a new drummer for Foo Fighters.
Yeah, what's his name?
Josh Freese.
Josh Freese. Yeah,
my
he's
brother.
Great. I watched Did you watch the announcement video? They're like in this room. They're like, "We're gonna announce our new drummer," and they're all strapped and ready. And there's a knock at the door, and it opens up and it's Nikki Sixx with a pair of drumsticks, and he's like, "Hey guys,
oh, that's funny.
I brought your takeout you asked for," and they're like, "Oh, thanks, Nikki, that's so cool." And he puts it down. They're like shooting the shit again. There's another knock. The door opens up. It's the drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he's got his drumsticks. And he's like, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Chad," and he's like, "Hey guys, one of your cars is blocking me in." And so Dave's like, "Oh, sorry about that, bro."
I love it.
And they do this like 3 or 4 times with other various drummers, and then they just turn the camera around, and Josh Freeze is just sitting behind the drum set. He's like, "Yo, can we fucking play now?"
Quit playing
I gotta
jokes here.
find that. Where'd you find that out? Just on YouTube?
It's on YouTube, and then they go on to play like 4 or 5 songs together. And I gotta say, he's a phenomenal drummer.
Yeah,
it sounded great. And I was really pleased to see that Dave Grohl. This will be the first Foo album he did the drums on since he did The Color and the Shape, but then he did one song on another track that Hawkins was singing on. They swapped, but he hasn't been a drummer on a Foo album in a long time, and I'm really fucking excited to hear that.
Interesting. I saw that my brother said he tried to get tickets. They're playing at the Spokane Coliseum. Sold out in like 20 minutes. Some shit.
I bet. Yeah, it's gonna be a big tour for them.
Yep.
I hope the album's good too. It'd be nice to hear some.
Yeah, they're so hit and miss.
That's true. It's like every other one's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, here, this musician famously had to give up taking acid after they had a bizarre incident where they found themselves having a conversation with Mr. Ed. The artist in question was Ozzy Osbourne. John Mark got that correct. Which means we have a tie right now between Lyle and John Mark. Let's see. In the spirit of, we've been talking a lot of candy lately. Here's my question to you guys. Open up a singular text message to me or Facebook Messenger, whatever you prefer.
I'm going to play along.
Whoever gets closest to the answer here is correct. And Ronster, you feel free to play along if you'd like to.
Will.
A licking machine modeled after a human tongue takes an average of this many licks to reach the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop.
Oh, God damn it.
My goodness. 1, 2, 3. 3.
How many licks to get to the center?
Oh, Jesus. Damn, son.
It's really hard. Mine don't count anyway, but.
Oh, my God. Wow. You guys are looking all over the
Way
map.
over.
Well, not really. You all shot pretty high. Ronster came in at 1,000. John Mark came in at 3,000. Lyle came in at 5,000.
5,000.
I think that would destroy your fucking tongue. The correct answer when they did this test over and over again was 364 licks, which makes John Mark our winner tonight.
Attaboy, John Mark.
Done.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Ron was just guessing. Got it.
Yeah, he wasn't actually in
But
the
that
race.
seems
Well done, sir.
That seems hard to gauge because we don't lick it like a licking machine would lick it. You know, that's why I went high because you put it in your mouth, you suck the whole thing. So
well, it's not even that when you're licking it. It's only like so much worse.
Well, now you know what you have to do. Is you have to lick it like a licking machine.
Lick it 300 times and get
Go on down to the buzz-in, Lyle, and pick up your friend and say this is for science.
More importantly, where can one get a licking machine? Asking for a friend that I'm now looking at.
I can see Ron ringing up. Oh, this is for a Tootsie Roll experiment. I swear.
I got another. I can tell you how many licks it's going to take for me to get to the center of my Tootsie Pop.
1,
2, and we're done.
Just Lyle going to town and Ron with one of those little clickers that the bus driver would admit kids would clicking away.
It's all looking at me like, you still here? I lost track. And this isn't a clicker, it's a banana. It's not a banana, it's my wiener. I'll go. All right. Well, congrats, John Mark, back on top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Yep, hooray. Probably will be our last episode until we get past Comet Week, so there'll be a little bit of a break. But I still would like to try some of your guys' AI prompts. I mean, it only takes a few minutes out of the show. Let us know, but don't cheat. Don't ask and find out for yourself. Just throw it. Probably wouldn't even be the same if I asked anyway, because it uses your history, I guess, to build, to try to see what you're working with. But post that on our Facebook page for this show when it drops, or send us an email you can send that to christopher.bizarre@gmail.com. That'd be the easiest way to do it. And we'll do some live on-air prompts. This is still kind of entertaining me for a little bit, but we shall see what it comes up with. Until then, we'll be working on that 9/11 show, and we'll see you guys in probably a couple weeks.
Night, guys.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Bye.
Guess what? I have fucking eyelids. That shit's closed. Ignorance is bliss.
2 little disassociation blankets that I got on.